What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential YouTube channel. Back with another video. I know I've been MIA for a minute, but I'm back because I felt guided, I felt called, felt inspired to make this video. And it's because a multitude of things, but majority because I've been doing this thing for the past several months, on and off. And I've been dealing with something that could possibly occur when you're on this journey. Okay, so the thing I'm talking about is NoFap, semen retention, right? Sexual transmutation. Okay, I'm quickly going to go over all this stuff. I'm going to go over what it is, a few benefits that I've noticed, how long I've been on it, what's the easiest way to do it, and how to prevent wet dreams. Okay, and is wet dreams, are they a relapse? So first things first, what is semen retention? What is NoFap? What is sexual transmutation? NoFap is essentially not watching any porn, not jerking off. Simple. Semen retention is holding in your semen. It's not ejaculating. Okay. Sexual transmutation is taking that sexual energy, transmuting that energy into something else. Taking that energy that would normally be used to give life, right? Taking all that energy and it's directed to your genitals. Well, you're raising that energy up to a higher chakra and you're forcing it out in a different avenue, right? You're putting it towards a goal, a dream, a vision, making money, leveling up your whole life, whatever it is, right? That is what those are, like, very concise. Okay, some of the benefits that I've noticed, or how long have I been on this? So thus far I've been about 2.5 months. Okay, and no fap, no porn, none of that, right? And what are the benefits that I've noticed? Well, clarity of the mind. How can I tell? Well, when it comes to making decisions, I'm a lot more decisive. When it comes to like banter, right? So you're talking to women, you're joking with your guys or whatever. You're like more quick-witted, all right? You're more quicker on your toes. You'll notice it, right? I've lost the desire to look at porn or masturbate. More assertiveness, more aggressiveness, more certainty in life and what I want. More drive, more ambition, more motivation, more discipline, more masculine energy. All right. As a whole, I've experienced more synchronicities along my journey, and I believe for me, it may be for you as well, but for me personally, a part of my spiritual development is through the process of sexual transmutation and NoFap, because I've been returning back to this thing for I don't know, a couple years now, but I've never really was able to stay committed on it. But it always kept popping back up. It always kept popping back up. So for me, more spiritual synchronicities. And if you're not aware, this is like a channel where I talk about spiritual concepts and spiritual beliefs, my spiritual beliefs. Okay, so notice that more just overall, more serotonin being released, you can say, less cortisol, so less stress, or my ability to handle stress is a lot better. It's a lot more effective. Okay, more dominance over my thoughts, and more attractive, right? Notice a lot more attention from females, more women, more respect for men, because you have noticed, maybe you haven't noticed, but once I bring this awareness to you, you're pretty much fucked. Sorry to say. So when you notice, whenever you jerk off and you masturbate, right? Specifically when you're jerking off, because when you're having sex with a woman, It's different. You're taking some of her energy, she's taking the majority of your energy, but you're still getting some in exchange. But whenever you just jerk off, you'll notice that you're more lethargic, you're exhausted, you're less witty, more brain fog. People responding to you different. Like, people will respond to you differently as opposed to retaining it, right? More men will respect you, more women will respect you whenever you retain it. But when you release it, you'll notice. It's not drastic, right? But you'll notice. People will try shit with you more right after you've jerked off, like the next day, same day, whatever. What else? Yeah, you just notice all those negative things, right? The flip side, whenever you retain, you'll notice the opposite. Okay, so those are just some of the benefits, quick and concise. I can go into further detail, but for the sake of this video, quick and concise, those are some of the benefits. Okay, so what's the easiest way to get started? What's the easiest way that I've found to get started? Well, whenever you go on NoFap, in the past I've tried to I'm just gonna do NoFap, and I didn't have a set time in mind. I didn't have a set date, like I'm gonna go for this long and then we'll see after that. Well, this time around I told myself, well, it takes 21 days to develop a habit, so I'm gonna go 21 days NoFap, semen retention, sexual transmutation. And I made up my mind 21 days. And in order to help me get over those 21 days, or stay on track of 21 days, basically what I did was I had a goal in mind. I wrote down exactly what I wanted to manifest, and I focused on that. But also, I bought a bunch of supplements at the time, like some I recommend is like ashwagandha. I bought some horny goat weed. I had some moringa leaf powder. I was taking some haritaki. Those are just some of the things. Chlorophyll tablets, right? And I would load them up into this pill container, right? And basically, once I get done with this week, I'm like, boom, that's 7 days. Do it again, fill it up. Once I get done that week, boom, it's 14 days. Do it again, 21 days. So that was how I kept track of it. And I noticed after the 21 days, I lost those desires to look at it or ejaculate. And all the times I've tried it, that was the easiest way that I've done it. It's just making up in your mind that I would do this for 21 days, because it's no long. I mean, it's no different from if you go to the gym, if you work out, or if you've ever been like into any sports and you're trained and you're being trained. Tell me if you've noticed this. If you're running the workout, if you're training yourself, if you're the one dictating the reps and the miles you run, it's a lot easier, because you know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 reps a set. I'm gonna run 2.5 miles. Okay, I'm gonna work out for this long. It's a lot easier because your mind has an end result, so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you can break them up into increments. It's like, okay, boom, mile 1. Okay, boom, mile 2. Okay, just a half a mile left, right? Opposed to if you're being trained by a coach or something, they're not telling you when it's going to end, so it's tormenting you. You're being worked out. When you're working out with a workout partner and they're running the workout and they're just fucking repping you, like how many, and they just like, we're just gonna see. It's a lot more difficult because your mind doesn't know when it's going to end, so it tries to, I'm assuming it tries to conserve energy because it doesn't know when the finish line is going to be. So if you make up in your mind, you said, okay, I'm gonna stick with this for 21 days. It's a lot more doable. Okay, so that is what I recommend. That is what I did. That's what made this thing more bearable. And so if you do 21 days, after 21 days, say, I'm gonna do another 21 days, because you're also tricking your mind. If you've ever been tired, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm just gonna walk on the treadmill, right, for like 10 minutes. Well, your mind settles, like, okay, cool, 10 minutes, that's it. Well, you start walking after the 10 minutes, you're just like, okay, now we're gonna run. And you just crank it up and start running. Your mind doesn't have enough time to rationalize and like try to talk you out of it. So that's how you do that, okay? So you say 21 days after that. Once the 21 day hit, You gauge how you feel, and then you think about all the negative benefits you get after you bust, right? And you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do 21 days again. That's just what I did, okay? So those are some of the benefits. Those are the easiest way that I found how to do it, okay? So some of the things that, or a thing that I've been dealing with lately have been wet dreams. Is a wet dream, is that a relapse? No, it is not a relapse, in my opinion. Why? Well, because it is unconscious. It is a subconscious thing that's occurring. Either your body is simply discharging because you have an overflow of this energy, or you've been looking at, like, I don't know, Instagram models and bodies online, or just something that gets you aroused before you go to sleep, or it could be a succubus, right? So for me lately, I believe it's been because the succubus, as well as just an overflow of energy. And I say this because whenever you build up this sexual energy, whenever you build up all of this power within you, and you're doing other things, you're taking your cold showers, you're meditating, you're taking all of your supplements, you are just conserving a lot of or you're amassing a lot of energy. And on the spiritual realm, whenever you grow into spiritual power, whenever you get all this energy, you just become brighter, right? You're just a light that becomes brighter, and you're going to attract certain things. So if you're looking at shit before you go to sleep, whatever it is that arouses you, well, whenever you fall asleep, the frequency you're on when you fall asleep, those are the frequencies you're gonna pretty much settle in as you're sleeping. Okay, so if you're in a lustful frequency, you're in a lustful vibration, you're in the lower chakras, well, whenever you go to sleep, your dream state will reflect that, or the astral realm you end up in, it's going to be reflective of that, right? And you this bright light in this realm, and you're going to see all these succubus and shit. They're gonna be drawn to that, okay? And so those are, or that could be a reason as to why you might be having wet dreams. But also, it could just be you're not cleansing yourself before you're going to sleep, and so you might still be on a higher vibration. But those succubus and shit, let's say you go out, I don't know, to the grocery store, and then you come home and you cook something, you go to sleep. Well, you might have sage and all that shit just from being in the house, but when you went out and left, in return, maybe you forgot the sage. And so you're just out and about, and then somebody else who had the entities on them jumped off of them onto you, and then you bring them back and you go to sleep, and now this entity is feeding off of you. So that is definitely a possibility. Okay, so how do you handle this? How do you deal with this? How do you get over it? Or before I say that, so go back. So those are the reasons why it's not a relapse, because you're not consciously fighting the urge like, nah, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Okay, maybe I'm just going to look. I'm not going to touch. Or yeah, I'm just going to, you see, whenever you go through that mental battle, when you lose that battle, that's the relapse, okay? Because it's conscious at that point. You're like, damn, I knew I shouldn't be doing it. But your mind tricks you. Your mind outplays you. Your mind overpowers you and makes you do that thing. That is a relapse. But when you're unconscious in a dream state, you don't have a say. So it's not a relapse. So what I've noticed is whenever this occurs, it's only on the days where I'm exhausted and I just fall asleep without doing my banishing rituals. Now, before I go to sleep, I typically do what's called the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, or a variation of it, okay? And what this does is it banishes everything within my space, but it also creates it also expands my aura. Okay, so quickly I'll teach it to you. So essentially what you do is you will settle in right before you're going to sleep. You can do it standing or sitting. I typically do it standing, and close your eyes, and just below you, you want to imagine all of creation being below you. All the planet, the moon, the stars, everything, all of creation below you. And above you, you want to imagine infinity, right? Depicted as this bright white light, okay? Then from there, you want to grab infinity, pull it down, right? Imagine pulling it down to your forehead, right? And as you're pulling it down to your forehead, you want to say, ta, right? And then from here, you want to pull it down to your root chakra. And as you're pulling it down to your root chakra, you want to say, Malkuv, right? And you pull it down from infinity, pull it down to your root chakra. And as it's happening, envision that white light being pulled down, right? And it's being anchored at your root chakra, at the base of your spine. And from there, you want to put your hand on your right shoulder and imagine from that light being pulled down to your base, you want to imagine it's shooting out of your right shoulder and going off into infinity, right? And from here, you want to say Vegabula. Then the same thing on this side, shooting out that way. Then Vegadula. Because you're imagining a cross, essentially, from infinity to your root, shooting out both ways. Okay? You do that, and then say, excuse me. You say Leolam, hand on both shoulders, Leolam. Then bring your hands together, Iman. So let me do it again so I'm not having to think about it. So it's imagine infinity, or imagine all of eternity below you, infinity above you. Bring it down. Malkuv, Vegabula, Vegadula, Leolam, Iman. That's what you want to do. And I guarantee if you do that before you're going to sleep, you will no longer experience these wet dreams, because you have cleansed the space, you have banished everything that's around you. Not only that, you have raised your vibrational frequency to a point where that shit can't fuck with you. But notice that whenever you do that lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, your aura is becoming brighter and brighter and brighter. So you're going to begin to attract more spiritual things within your life. Okay. And yeah, I mean, that's essentially all I got on this. If you don't believe in all that, I mean, you can also use prayer before going to sleep. It'll raise your frequency. You can cleanse with sage. I recommend taking a bath in pink Himalayan salt. All right. Don't forget to dunk your head in it before you get out, and then after that, stand up and wash all the salt off you. You don't want it to dehydrate you, and because that's stripping away all the that energy you accumulated throughout the day. I mean, also I've heard that sleeping with real tight underwear can cause that to happen as well. But I've also heard people say that sleeping without underwear causes it to happen. So I guess it all depends. But from my experience, doing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram before going to sleep will help you out a lot, right? And you will no longer get them. Because I've noticed that whenever I would fall asleep without doing it, those are the times it would happen. And it's happened in the past, like, I don't know, 3 times over the past. Or not even, it didn't happen 3 times. It happened 1 time where I had a wet dream, but 2 other times when I woke up and right before it happened, because I was sleeping and I started having a sexual dream and I woke up, and then because I do dream recall, I think about the dreams that I just had, and I noticed like, oh shit, I almost got me. So to wrap this video up, that is what semen retention, sexual transmutation is, NoFap. That's what it is. Those are some of the benefits. That's the easiest way I've found to get started on it and stay with it, because after those 21 days you want to do it again, and then from there you just stop counting days. You just notice all the benefits, okay? And then you want to have a goal so you can fuel that energy or put the energy into other things, right? And that is how you get rid of wet dreams and if they're a relapse. So that's all I got. Let me know if this video is helpful. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.